Thanks, Shannon.
I admit everyone?
You go for it.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. We're just having the waiting room fill up to our main session here. So give us just a few moments and we'll start very soon. So good morning, and we'll be with you very shortly.
Hi, good morning. How you doing? Good. How are you?
All right, Leanne, I'll wait for your cue when you're through admitting these our participants. Let me go and we'll get started.
Yep. Everyone that was in the waiting room has been admitted, so we're good to go.
Oh, great.
And
Awesome.
we're live on YouTube.
Great. All right, Leanne, thank you. Good morning again, everybody. Welcome to our online session. My name is David Hall, the manager of cooperative education, and we're so happy that you're with us today. Today we have a selection of speakers, not only from Algonquin College, but an employer who hires our co-op student, a student within the industry, and we may have a guest speaker pop in a little bit later at the end from our executive ranks. So we're very happy that you're here with us today. And I hope it's not too snowy where you are. There's a little bit on the ground out my window. And it's probably going to go by the end of the day, which I know my 7-year-old is a little bit distraught about, but he'll get over it. So just bear with me here. I need to share my screen, so give me a moment. There we go. All right, so I imagine we have success in the screen sharing world, so let's jump into it. On the screen today, you'll see our agenda. We'll give a little bit of an overview about what co-op is, how we can help you. Myself and a colleague of mine, Bobby Truelove, will be able to explain what her role is at the college and how she helps our employers. Her all day, every day is working with our co-op employers. So she's really there to make your experience through co-op and perhaps even other things at Algonquin College smooth and beneficial. Next, we will have our program coordinator, Angela Claremont, make some remarks around what these students can do for you. So this is often a great time for you to inquire about any program-related questions you may have. So think about technical skills, think about soft skills, think about group work, communication, professionalism. All those things are on the table. So we don't want you leaving here with any questions still in the mind. We want you to express them to us today so we can answer them as best we can. And I think we've gathered the right people around the room. Following that, we're going to hear from one of our students. So Phil Wu is here. Phil, thank you for being here. I always love to hear what our students have to say, especially their ambitions for the future. And that's why we get up and go to work every day to Algonquin College. And that's why I went to Algonquin College as well. As a proud graduate, you can see here with my coffee mug. It's really the reason we exist, to help our students transition to the workforce. Following that, Cody Hisco is here from Canaxis, one of our large, long-time employers. And that organization takes great care in the way that they handle, onboard, and retain their co-op students. So Jody, thank you for being here. We'll pause for a bit of a Q&A at around 10:30. And then our Senior Vice President Academic will be coming in to say some closing remarks for us. So that's the plan that we have for this morning. I hope you enjoy it. We've been practicing and refining this for multiple new co-op programs over the last several months. And so we hope it goes well for you this morning. Now, a few housekeeping notes. There is a chat box like all Zoom calls or most Zoom calls. Feel free to introduce yourself there. Bobby Truelove on our team will be in the chat and be able to respond to you. So you can introduce yourself using your name, where you work, what you do, maybe even what you want to learn today. Getting that chat going is often a fun way to increase the interaction here on our Zoom call. You also have the ability to turn on your microphone and turn on your camera. So we let you turn on your camera because it's always nice to see the faces which we are speaking with. And then the microphone is for your questions. So if you have any questions throughout in the time of my remarks, Angela's remarks, or anybody else's, you can ask at a pause where we can further go deeper on some of the points. We have Zoom participants today, so those on the call and the interface that I'm interacting in. And we also have YouTube participants because we realize that Zoom is not the video conferencing tool of choice for every employer. So we made the YouTube stream available. Now, and if you're on Zoom, Leanne Feeney is on the call here from our team, who will be able to answer Bobby will be the Zoom panelist, and then Leanne does the YouTube comments. So even if you are on YouTube, the comments will be brought forward for this session, so we can ask your questions there, and then we could respond to them orally. So let's get started with a little bit of interaction here. Leanne, could you launch the poll that we have prepared? We want to learn a little bit more about who's in the audience. Yeah, so these questions are useful for us to help tailor this presentation sort of midstream. And it's always great to know who has the question number one, who's an alum, who has some great experience with the college. And then also those have hired co-op students before. So now we're sitting at about 70% of those who responded are not Algonquin College graduates. So welcome to the Algonquin family. And the have you hired a co-op student before question, that's now trending slightly in favor with the no. So some new folks to engage with on the business front. So we're really excited for those results today. So thank you.
You want me to share the results?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. There we go. You should see them on your screen.
Awesome. Thank you, Leanne. That's just great. Okay. So my role now is to share a little bit about our co-op program, and the supports that we have for you and our students. And then Bobby Truelove will make some remarks specifically around how you can work directly with her to make this work for your organizations should you see benefit. So co-op is incredibly important to our students, to our employers, and to our college for a whole host of reasons. For the last 5 years, it has been embedded as a key strategic pillar in our strategic plan. And we've been working collectively as an entire organization to become the leader in co-op in the Ontario college system. That is our ambition, to be the Waterloo of the college system. Now, why do we want to be that? Because we've learned that it increases student learning. So not only does it help our students improve their GPA, but some of those harder to teach skills, taking responsibility for their own learning, problem solving, working in teams, group work, professionalism. Co-op helps our students improve in those skill areas. It makes our students more employable. And that is something that is a piece of conventional wisdom, but also studies show that employers reflect that co-op students have the skills beneficial to their workplace, ultimately making them a better candidate for employment, not only in co-op, but a long-term hire. And lastly, and today's session is an example of this, it helps build partnerships. So we know that our employers that work with us are looking to co-op not just to fill a short-term hiring need, but really as a long-term succession planning device so that they can test out the next generation of talent work with them, mold them, guide them into the way that you do business. And then once the term comes to an end, there's a nice clean break should you choose to part ways with your co-op student, or you have the ability to hire them on part-time when they are returning to school, or even hiring them on full-time after they graduate. And now that is a real win-win-win for everybody involved. You get a hire that is not as risky as a hire off the street per se. Our students find work, and we fulfill the mission, vision, and values of our college. So when we say co-op this morning, what do we mean? We mean a full-time job that our students work at your organization in a paid relationship. So it's an employer-employee relationship. The duration is at least 4 months, and that's true of this program. It's 4 months. The work is related to the student's program of study. And now number 5 is a good one to remember. It's completed in between students' in-class studies. So this means that you're not sharing your student with the classroom. So they don't have to attend school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They don't have to do their homework throughout the weekend. It's really an employer-employee relationship. And Bobby will get into some of the funding incentives that are around. Now, just to visualize this point a little bit differently, the column second to the left that's titled AC Co-op is what we're speaking about today. And we're trying to differentiate from the other forms of work integrated learning that you may have some experience with. So if you're used to hiring high school co-op students, or you or your son or daughter participated in high school co-op, you'll notice that it's almost completely opposite. So high school co-op, it's not paid, it's typically concurrent with your studies on a part-time basis. Complete opposite for post-secondary co-op, where it's full-time, paid, and separate from the studies. And then you'll see further more to the right of this chart, other types of work integrated learning that the college offers. So we offer clinical placements, and we also offer a lot of field placements. And now these field placements are often shorter in duration. They're typically project-based. They're not often paid, and the majority of them are concurrent with the studies. So students school, and then students do the field placement in the same semester, and sometimes within the same week, depending on the program. So for the purpose of this morning, we are talking about the one on the left. So when you work with a co-op student, not only do they have their excellent in-class education taught by our faculty members, but they also work with the co-op team to help get them ready for the workforce. So we build on top of the training and the lessons that are taught in the classroom, and we help our students get ready all the way from the job application process, all the way through to the interview, landing, and being successful on the job. So we're with our students because we want them to make a good impression, make a good contribution to your organization. But we're also there with you and with our students through the entire work term. So once you decide to make the hire, we're not only just a phone call away or an email away any day of the week. We have formal check-in points, which are as simple as a link we send to you and the student just to gauge how the relationship is going. And there are certain answers on those midterm check-ins that cause red flags for my team to reach out and help address the issue. So don't think once you hire, you're on your own. Algonquin College is with you the whole way through the search term or the hiring phase, and also the working phase. So I am an employer who hires co-op students from Algonquin College, and I'm proud to do so. And one thing that I absolutely love about these co-op students is they bring fresh ideas to existing problems that we are having or continuing to have. So that's very useful. And also they have an incredibly high capacity for work. They have this internal desire to make a contribution for your team. So if you think you have too much work for your co-op student, I would argue that give them a try, because that's what they're there for, and they're trying to make the most out of it. I'm just so impressed with the years of hiring co-op students, the amount of work they can actually get done. And lastly, on my slides for this morning, there are funding incentives available for our employers to pay for things such as salary, equipment, training. Now there's co-op and work integrated learning specific incentives that range from Ontario tax credits to federal grant money, which we can help you access. And then also depending on the work you have, there are other programs that we can access through our research center, partnering with My Tax, whatever it may be, but it's really custom to the employer once we get outside of the tax credit and the federal funds. So that's probably about enough from me right now, unless there's any pressing questions. If not, I will turn it over to a colleague of mine, Bobby Trulove, who is a industry account manager for us. Now, Bobby, go ahead.
Thanks for the introduction, David, and I'm so happy to see all of you here today. So I'm just going to go over a couple of details on how you can recruit a student and kind of go through the cooperative education process from start to finish. So the main thing is here that I want to get across is we are here to help our employers every step of the way. Oftentimes, probably almost every day, I spend some time working with an employer on preparing a job posting. We will help you to get the job posted, get the resumes to you with the right students who have the skills that you're looking for. We'll help you coordinate the interviews and extend job offers for those selections. So not only do we support you through the recruitment process, but as I mentioned, we'll be here all the way through to the time when you hire your student and all the way through their work term. Should you have any questions or concerns, there's somebody on our team that's always available to help you. In addition to that, we can also help you raise your profile on campus. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through this. There's 6 simple steps on how to recruit a student. So we use a database called HireAC, which houses all of our data, our job postings, and basically we manage our entire co-op administration all through this process in HireAC. So it's very simple for employers. The first step would be to create an account in HireAC. I always offer as well, when you're a first-time employer, I'm happy to create your account for you. Second step would be to post your position. So again, you can either create your own account, you can post your own job, that's great. But if you do need some support, I'm absolutely happy to help you do that. So once you've posted a position, on the closing date, you will receive an applicant bundle. It's in the form of a PDF. It's very easy. You download it, you review your applicants, and then when you're ready to proceed with interviews, you would log into HireAC, schedule those through the platform. And after your interviews are complete, there is a ranking process, which simply means that you're going to select the students that you would like to make an offer to. And then there's finalizing your offer and sending that out to students to get things in place for their work term. So I know we're here today to talk about project management, but we're just going to share a little bit of information. We have over 40 different co-op programs in a multiple area of disciplines. So project management, of course, different areas of business, hospitality, IT, and many, many more. So if there is anything else that you are interested in speaking about besides project management, we have a broad range of programs that have co-op options and students that are looking for work in those areas. So happy to share that with you anytime. And then getting involved with us. Again, it's always easy. Clearly, I've just gone over the steps to get involved in co-op, but perhaps there's some other things you'd like to get involved in the college with. One of those things is mock interviews. Usually one time per semester, we like to set up mock interviews, which are hosted by our employers. Our employers really like this experience, and it's extremely valuable to our students. So if that's something that you'd like to participate in, we'd love to have you. We'd also love to host a networking event for you to be able to get you in front of the students. You can share a little bit of information about your organization or business and leave a little bit of time for Q&A at the end. We've been actually scheduling quite a few of these over the fall, and employers seem to really like it. Students like it. It's a great opportunity. So again, happy to set those up for you if you're interested after the event today. And other than that, perhaps you would like to get involved in our applied research. Maybe you have a market you'd like to get, or an idea rather, you'd like to get to market that you would need some support from our students. Or you may want to participate in some kind of research project or attend one of our career fairs that we have. I did put my email address into the chat, but it's here as well. So please feel free to contact me at any time. I'd be most happy to answer any of your questions.
Great. Thank you, Bobby. I always appreciate you coming and sharing your role on the co-op team. Now, just a theme that I observe as you're speaking is that there's a lot of choice on how employers choose to interact with us based on how they prefer to do so. So they could either use our online self-service system on a 24/7 sort of basis. You know, if you do your work at 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 or later at night, then that's okay. You can log on to Hire AC, post your job, schedule your interviews, and you don't need to interact with us if you don't want to. But if you need help, Bobby is there to help you. So it's really up to our employers of how much support you want and how much you want to do it just self-serve. I know some things that I do not want to have a conversation to do. I like just to go ahead, do my self-serve when I'm in the right state of mind to do so, and then I get it taken care of. So that's one thing that I know you offer, Bobby, and that's really great. And then the other thing on that choice paradigm that I was noticing there is the way we support our employers is we either do almost all of the HR tasks with the posting the jobs, with the scheduling the interviews, with the sending out the offers. We could support what your HR team already does, or we can just totally step out of the way and provide access to the students. And then our employer's HR department can go ahead and do what they need to do. So don't feel like you're forced into a co-op program. Our co-op program has been designed specifically to be flexible to our employers' responses. So Bobby, thank you for that. All right, so our next poll, Leanne, if you can get that going. So now we're going to ask a few questions around sort of what got you into the room today. What are you looking for from your students or your let's think of them as your next hires. So there's two questions on the survey right now. One is around the, of course, skills. And then the second one, and this is something that Bobby can help address, obstacles within your organization that impact your ability to hire co-op students. So this will give us some sense of what to tailor our remarks on for the rest of this time together. And also, might cue us to some Q&A. So I don't know if there's any Q&A in the chat, but we'll bring it forward at the time.
No questions yet.
Great. All right, so we're just over about half responded. Give just a few more moments if people are making their decisions. Then we'll share the poll, and then we'll hear from the program. All right, Leanne, we can probably close it and share. Oh, we got 16 there. All right, very interesting. Project management fundamentals. People seem to be using MS Project. And now this is a good time, perhaps in our Q&A or in the chat, we can learn about what the types of software people are using to manage projects. And then as I look down at obstacles, hey, look at that, none. That's fantastic. That's the highest response, none. But of course, there's always questions around funding, uncertain of the hiring process. So that's fantastic. We can talk about that. And Bobby, let's make a note to speak about that in the Q&A section. We can go a little bit deeper onto that. And then also those who put other we'd love to hear what those others are so we can possibly be useful in helping overcome those challenges. Should it be right for your business, of course, and then the not enough work to keep the student busy. Like I said, they have a very high capacity. And what I have them doing is I split sort of between, here's the regular day-to-day, keep the lights on business we need you to do. But then I also look at the program in which they study. So I have a computer programmer actually working on staff right now. So he's helping us automate, better manage our data and our reporting, which used to take more manual hours than needs to. So he's right in there doing that work. So providing some tasks, that's a benefit to me, but we just couldn't get to it with our skill set or the time we had in the day. So Leanne, that's great. Thank you.
I just want to apologize to those who couldn't share their results or submit their results. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think I probably just had way too many things that you could select for the first question. That maybe it didn't allow you to submit. So sorry about that.
All right, thank you. All right. There's something drawn on the screen there. All right, so Angela, you're up next. Can you bring us some remarks from your program, why we're here today? So thank you so much for being here, program coordinator. Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you very much, David. And thank you everybody for coming today. I cannot even express how excited I am to see everybody on this call and just having co-op in our program finally. I've been pushing for it for a very long time, and I've been very excited to offer this both to employers and to our students in our program. So very exciting. We've had a lot of success. David talked a little bit before about field placement. That's what we've been doing in our program. And this is the first year that we're moving towards actual co-op. And our field placements have been very successful. And I can see a lot of people on this call who we worked with together on field placements. And I think that the move towards the full-time co-op is going to be even more of a win-win for both employers and the students. And I'm very excited about it. So a little bit about our program. Our program is a graduate certificate program. And as such, all of the people who come to us already have either a college diploma or a university degree. Many of them already have masters, and we've had a few PhD students come to us. So you're going to see a real depth of experience in the students that you hire out of our program. We also have a great diversity in terms of country of origin, in terms of academic background. We have students who have backgrounds in construction, architecture, all sorts of engineering, and all the way through the spectrum to, art history. We have the full gamut. And in terms of age, we have, people who have come to us rolling right out of college up to, military, retirees coming to revector their careers. So we have a full gamut of skill in our program. How the program works is we have 3 semesters. 2 academic semesters where the students will actually complete 12 courses. So all of the academics will be done before students go off to co-op. So they will be fully trained in our project management fundamentals. We have an in-depth course on MS Project where they will have hands-on experience in developing MS project schedules. In our other courses, we have them tracking their project work using MS Project. So lots and lots of skill there. And communication, obviously, what do project managers do? They communicate. And we encourage that in the program. There's a lot of teamwork, and we'll get to all of that. The first term, we will qualify students academically to have them make sure that they have the fundamentals under their belts. So in our first term, in the first 6 courses, students will need to have a grade point average of 3.0, which is a B, and an additional requirement to have a B+ in the project management fundamentals course. So we do that gatekeeping to make sure that they have demonstrated the fundamental skills that you will need to see in your, in your organization before they get to you. Our program really focuses on hands-on learning. So we have a lot of hands-on learning in every single course. So it's not just academics. We teach the academics, but what we really want is we want to make sure that everybody can do all of the project management skills before they leave the program. And we know that because they will have already done it before they graduate. We did have field placements before, but what we do have still in our program is our applied project management course. And this is where students, before they get to you for co-op, will have had the experience of planning out, managing, executing, and delivering a real live project before they get to you. So they will have gone through right from idea to deterministic outcome of a project before you see them. And we've got some really fascinating projects, and they change every term, but some of the examples I can give you, just to give you a sense of what our students will have been able to demonstrate before they get to you, is we have, so last winter we did a project, and we have quite a few artificial intelligence projects that we've done over the course of the years. But the last one that we did was we collaborated with our computer engineering technology students to develop an AI platform, an image recognition tool, where our project management students would actually build Lego sets. So we'd build, all the, the pirate ships, the White House, all of these different Lego sets, and they would take photographs of every block that they would build, and they would upload it into this tool, and it would compare against the end schema for that build, and it would generate a percentage complete of what that project is. So with the future application of, being able to fly a drone around a construction site and take photographs of an in-progress build and be able to predict, just to do status reporting, we're 61% complete, this is where we expected to be. So these are the kinds of things that we have our students work on. Other types of projects, we will fill the cupboards of our Algonquin food cupboard. So we will, give $50 to each team of students and require a 20-to-1 ROI on these projects, and then send them off, and then they need to plan out, execute, fundraise. And we've, given the food cupboard its largest single donations over the years at any given point in time. So they will have had to have managed all of that, managed the quality, managed the requirements, managed teams, engage stakeholders out in the community, etc. So they have those kinds of skills. Another example of a project we do in this applied project management course is we've supported the planning and recruitment of TEDx speakers for an Algonquin event. So these are the kinds of things, and we have lots more examples, but this is what we will be doing with our students. This is all faculty-led, coached and mentored through these processes before they get to you on co-op. So that's kind of the stuff that they will have under their belt. So hopefully that's exciting for you as well. In terms of acquired skill sets, we do make sure they have the entire foundational elements. So we make sure that they are able to create project plans, the entire set of project management plans in detail, right? They will have been able to set objectives for projects, determine, in terms of scope, what needs to be done, in terms of time, what are the major milestones, what are the details, what needs to be done, who needs to do what by when. They can plan out all of that. What are the different scheduling methodologies they want to use? And we do focus on MS Project, but in our MS, we have a time management and technology course, and the students will have had an opportunity to research some of the other tools on the market, although we do concentrate on MS Project as being the kind of the core to date. We've got our eyes on the market to see when we need to re-vector that to another tool, but we're not quite there yet. So you can expect some very in-depth skill sets around scheduling an MS Project. In terms of teamwork, we make sure that they work in teams, particularly, they're going to be working in teams for the rest of their careers. So we put them in teams right away. We make them manage multiple projects concurrently because they will be doing that as a project manager. We make them work. It's a very diverse environment. We teach them the communication skills. We teach them the teaming skills. We provide them, now that we've moved, since COVID, we've actually created virtual sites. So they have an MS Teams site for each of their teams, and we're making sure that they all have the ability to work remotely. right? And so really what we concentrate on in our program is what are those outcomes that you need to deliver, and you need to be flexible and creative in solving how you get there, right? So lots of problem solving skills, lots of teaming skills, communication skills, virtual skills. The courses that we have, so they will be able to do foundational team management, leadership, budgeting, cost estimation, all of those core skills that you would need, they will have under their belts. And some of the other projects, like we have the applied project course, which is our capstone experiential learning course, but we do other things. So in our fundamentals course, all the students will have completed a simulation sim project. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it won a PMI award a few years back for the simulation. And okay, I'm distracted by my chat here. Okay, just a second. So they will have done a simulation. So they will have planned out projects, had the ability to actually execute them and see what their results are. Are they actually able to deliver this project within the time constraints, the budget constraints, the quality constraints? And we give them a few rounds through that simulation so they can take their lessons learned and put them back into subsequent runs. I think we can move on, except that I do want to point out that the AI project that I talked about in the last slide, it won the Ontario Project Management Competition, so the provincial competition in March, and it is up for a Board of Governors Changemaker Award this December. So we do have award-winning projects that come out of our program, and so we're very proud of that, and the students are also very proud of that. And we can move on to the next slide. The courses that we teach, we do have a project management fundamentals course. That's a very in-depth course taking, project foundations, life cycles, project management processes, knowledge areas, all of that foundational information. And then we take a look at how do you get, a project from its idea state all the way through to delivery and closure. So the students will have looked at that. And then the rest of our courses really support that and do a deep dive on all the different topic areas. We do scope down to its detail. How do you define the scope, plan the scope, break it down? How do you manage your project time, schedules, cost, budgets, human resource team, stakeholder engagement, communications? How do we take a look at all of these elements in an international landscape? So how would you create plans and adjust plans for both a domestic project, for an international project? What are those considerations that you need to make? We have leadership and corporate social responsibility courses, risk management, quality management, procurement management. So we cover the kind of the full set of skills, and you can actually go to this link for a complete list of all of the courses. And I think that's all that I have to say. I haven't gone back through anything that's up here in the chat. I'm not sure if.
Yeah, Angela, that was fantastic. I know Leanne will be bringing forward some things for us to chat about. I laughed a little bit when you said distracted by chat. Sometimes I feel like a dog that sees a squirrel and then I just stop and then I go, oh goodness, I gotta get back to this. So that happens to me almost every time. But some of those things that you said there are just absolutely fantastic. And one thing that I love about our graduate certificate programs is the depth and the breadth of experience that you mentioned right off the top of those remarks. So not only do they have a education under their belt, it may be from around the world, which also adds a fantastic level of diversity. We believe in that in Co-op. We have 6 people that weren't born in Canada on our team, and we absolutely love it, and it enriches the experience. But when you're saying, some people have military backgrounds, some people have backgrounds in wherever they come from, it would probably really help to know the business if you're going to manage a project in that particular business. So every year we're going to have a different sort of suite of students. That you may have some high-tech students one year and some construction students the next year. And really it's a refreshed talent pool every year that have some experience. So I think that's a really cool thing to offer our employers. Now, Leanne, is there anything you want to check in that was sort of urgent to Angela's remarks that would be best addressed now as opposed to the end? Otherwise, we can hear from one of our students. So why don't you give me your thoughts?
No, there hasn't been any questions.
Great. Okay, so Angela, that's great. Thank you for your remarks. All right, so next up, we have Phil Wu. Phil, welcome. Thank you for being here and good morning. Phil is one of our current students in the project management program. So as an ambassador for the remainder of the student body, we'd like to welcome him to make some remarks around his experience and give you an example of the type of students we have.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today, I'll be talking about my experiences as a project management student in the graduate certificate program, and I am also enrolled in the co-op. First of all, I'll talk a little bit about my background and motivations. I am a alumni of Algonquin College from the International Business Management program. I have an academic background in arts, in linguistics and life sciences. Personally, I have a strong international background, having lived in 5 countries and traveled to over 30. And I'm not and I'm definitely not special in this case in terms of the diversity and variety of backgrounds in our program. I have 6 years of work experience in customer service and hospitality, mostly in the specialty coffee industry, and I guess independent bakeries. And I chose project management because it's a skill set that's in high demand. And it sounds like a very blanket term, but I'm looking to add towards my international business management credentials because I am especially interested in managing international projects. So the real motivation behind this is that I believe that the co-op experience is a perfect opportunity for me to gain entry-level experience to start my career. Next, I'll talk about some of the highlights of our program. I think the biggest challenge that we're facing in this program is the remote learning and also remotely collaborating with our teams in school. So now we're 3 months in, and I think that it's not just for me, but for everybody in my team and our program that because we were forced into this situation, we're all learning to adapt quickly. Some of the technical skills that we're learning in this program, the most prominently are the that we use every day are the MS Office suites, including Excel, Word, PowerPoint, scheduling software like MS Project, and any variety of project documentation such as status reports, business case, etc. So far in this semester, we have learned and gained experience with several major components of project management, including understanding the background, theoretical knowledge, and applying the process groups and knowledge areas of the project laid out by the Project Management Institute. We have briefly talked about the Agile method, and I believe that we will go into it further in the next semester, which I'm looking forward to. We have learned important concepts within the discipline of project management, such as critical path, slack and float. And on the cost side of project management, we have also learned to read and understand financial statements and calculate specific project performance metrics such as EVPV, cost performance index, and CPI and SPI. I guess one of the first things that we learn in this program and told to us by almost every single professor is that project managers spend 90% of their time communicating. So as such, we have a specific dedicated course called Project Communications Management, where we learned to manage projects from a communication perspective, including creating responsibility matrices, stakeholder register, etc. And also, most importantly, a overarching communications plan for a given project. On top of that, a very important component of our program is that we are offering a international project management course. which mainly discusses the cultural intelligence, the more sensitive aspects, and also teaching all our students to engage international stakeholders. Next, I will talk about I'll introduce some projects that we're currently working on in this program. There are two projects that I have highlighted that is the larger projects of this semester, but I do believe that next semester we'll have even more. So first, for our project time and technology management course, for our group final project, we are assigned to prepare a COVID preparedness schedule plan for the province of Nova Scotia. And in this course, every group is assigned a different province. So what we did was we conducted research and compared the dates of what has happened, and also the federal and provincial budgets that were allocated. Next, in our project scope management course, we were given a case study in the beginning, and there are 4 group assignments where each team is assigned a different company. Our team happened to be assigned to an Australian IT service company, and for this company, we were assigned to create a business case, a project proposal, write to project charter, define the requirements of the project within this company, and create a detailed breakdown structure. Next, I will talk a little bit about what I seek to gain from this program, especially the co-op aspect of this program. Even though I'm only 2.5 months in this program, I strongly believe that project management program has prepared me for a role in this industry. Back to the wide range of applicability that I talked about in the last slide. And personally, I'm especially looking to gain hands-on experience by applying project management principles on diverse projects. And I guess in the end, my hope is that I would like to find an opportunity within the federal government or be involved in managing projects that are international projects. Thank you very much.
Great. Phil, thank you for your remarks this morning. You probably have the toughest job of the day. You have to explain your program with your program coordinator sitting right there. I know Angela's lovely, but that can be stressful. Your co-op team and about 15 potential employers on the call. So we ask our students to do this and they do a great job. So thank you for being here and making those remarks, Phil. That's just absolutely wonderful. And just one of your last remarks, you tell us that you feel like the program has already prepared you for the industry. Now I can share a similar experience. I am an Algonquin grad. I was an Algonquin college student. I felt the same way very early on in my program. So mine was a 2-year program. And I felt that within the first semester that I could start working. And within 6 months of starting the program, I started working in the industry in which I was studying. So your feelings there are in sync with other college students and programs. So I'm glad you're feeling that way. It was the same case with myself, and I know thousands of other students. So Phil, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciated your remarks.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks everybody for listening.
Of course. Okay, so we have our student, we have our employers. So Cody Hisco is from Canaxis. Canaxis is a long-time co-op employer of ours. We consider them partners, like we do many of our employers. They have a great program, not only for hiring, but onboarding and retaining co-op students. So Jody's here to share a little bit from the employer perspective and may be able to answer any of the questions that employers may have of other employers. So Jody, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it, and welcome.
Perfect. Thank you for having me, David. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Jody. So I'm the recruitment coordinator, university relations for Canaxis. And I've started with Canaxis in August, and I've been partnering with Algonquin since day one. And I've also partnered with Algonquin in my previous recruitment roles at Canopy Growth. So a little bit about the company. So Canaxis was the Co-op Employer of the Year in 2017 from the Better Ottawa Business Awards. We've had 133 postings in the past 4 years at Algonquin alone, and we've hired 43 students from Algonquin, and we have 6 more starting in 2021. So we hire from a wide variety of programs, including technical writers, Bachelor of Commerce, computer engineering, business intelligence, computer programming, and then we have a wide variety of other options like marketing, HR, finance, a lot of different programs that we hire from as well. And our recruitment takes place from all of the local schools, so Algonquin, Ottawa, U, Carleton, and then we also recruit from schools in the GTA and across different countries like the USA, India, and we're looking at UK and Apex as well. So the Algonquin Co-op department is very responsive to our needs. So as Bobby outlined earlier, so when we have a job, we submit it through the higher AC people and listed for a specific period of time. And then once the job closes, I get an email with a bundle of resumes, and then I review those and pass them on to the specific hiring managers, depending on the role. They review them, let me know who they'd like to interview, and then I schedule it through the higher AC portal. So interviews, as I mentioned, can be scheduled with the employer. Or in my previous role, I would just reach out to a contact at Algonquin and ask them to schedule it as a little more one-off, not a large contingent of co-op students like we have here at Canaxis. So as it mentions below, we can have them in person, depending on the location, but right now every role is virtual, so all of our interviews take place via webcam. And Algonquin's also committed to ensuring the right fit of employers and students to ensure successful co-op terms. So some of the benefits for the hiring managers. So I've had the opportunity to work with a wide variety of hiring managers from different departments that I might not necessarily get to work with. So the hiring manager gets to build good relationships with more members of the HR team. The hiring managers get to practice interviewing. So some of the hiring managers are new managers or just getting a chance to do interviews. We also have some of our co-op students who are departing. It's a good chance for them to be involved in the hiring process. So a lot of times our co-op students get to join the interview process as well. The next 3 points all sort of fall under the heading of diversity of thought. So the team gets to learn how to manage the current generation so they can work better. They can enhance their ability to manage different situations, and they can find new perspectives on old problems. Some other benefits for the hiring managers are they have an opportunity to find strong candidates for future hiring. So once the 4-month term is over and the student returns to finish their in-class work, if they're looking for work afterwards and we know they're a good employee, then that's sort of a nice fit to bring them back. We also get quick access to candidates with the most current skills. So a lot of times our hiring managers have a short-term project that they need help with right away. So that's a chance for us to reach out to Algonquin and get a student with the specific skills we need. And it also builds a pipeline of qualified candidates. So we have good relationships with schools like Algonquin. And when a student comes and has a successful co-op term with us, they will pass along that information to the co-op team and other students. And it's a good word of mouth for the company. So some of the benefits for the students, they get to strengthen soft skills that they might not necessarily get a chance to in class, a chance to learn how different companies work, organizational skills, time management skills, all sorts of skills that, it's something that you don't learn until you actually have a job. They get a chance to make contacts. So where we have a co-op student who might have a really successful semester with us, but no openings are available when they graduate, then having contacts at companies like Canaxis, a lot of times they have other contacts in the industry and can pass along good word of mouth of co-op students. And I get it all the time where I have hiring managers and just other employees at Canaxis that'll send me resumes of people that they've worked with in the past that have been successful employees. So they also get a chance to learn about different organizational cultures. So every company is different. So they get exposure to more situations, more different organizations. It just builds their skill set for future employment. They get to build work experience. So whenever students graduate, one of the toughest things is trying to get work experience where companies, but as a new grad, they don't have that experience. So co-op is a perfect opportunity for students to get said work experience. And worst case scenario, if we interview 5 candidates for one job, 4 candidates aren't going to get that job. So worst case scenario, you get practice interview skills and have the opportunity to be more successful in the next opportunity.
Excellent, Jody. Thank you again for your remarks and your ongoing partnership. We really do appreciate it. Just a couple of things that I noted from your remarks, just so the audience knows, the Canaxis was selected as the Employer of the Year for Co-op in partnership with all of the institutions within the city. So it's unanimous. And I know Canaxis hires from all the schools, and that's the right thing to do to get the best talent pool that they possibly can. We're happy to be a part of that talent pool. Jody, you also mentioned about using Hire AC. I'm glad that's working when you have that big lot of co-op postings and placements you're looking to fill. And when employers use Hire AC, it allows my team to keep very connected with what's actually happening with those job postings. So we monitor the performance of these job postings, if students are applying, if they're not applying, and then we can intervene and we say, hey, this is a really great employer, students. Why aren't you applying? We may get some intelligence. We may be able to work with you to update your job posting. And we've even had employers come to class and say, hey, we're a great employer. These are the reasons you should work for us. So when Bobby mentioned, we'll help you raise your profile on campus, that's just one of the examples that we have. That concludes our speakers for this morning. And I believe, Leanne, we are right on time for our Q&A session. So I've been very, very disciplined with not checking on the chat. And it's giving me a bit of anxiety because I see 47 new messages and it's blinking at me over here. So I haven't taken a look at that, but Leanne, perhaps you can bring some remarks forward, or if you are in the audience and you'd like to turn on your microphone or turn on your camera or one or the other, you can do that as well. And also our YouTube friends, please use the comment box. So Leanne.
So we've mostly just been chatting in the chat, which has been really great. It's given us an opportunity to get to know everyone that's here. And we're really glad that you guys are here. And it seems like there's so many people from different backgrounds, which is very, very exciting. There's actually only been one question, even though we've been chatting for a while. But if anyone, if anyone wants to ask them live, please go ahead. So the one question was from Giselle. She says, it's clear that students bring their own disciplinary perspectives and experience from their previous degrees and work life, but do students get any opportunity to get cross-discipline input or experience in the program, perhaps through projects? So I think this is more for Angela.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Giselle, for asking that. And absolutely, there is a great opportunity for students to come in and learn about other industries, right, and other experiences, because we don't tailor to one particular industry specifically, right? We take a look at project management as we can layer on top of any different kind of background. So whether you're from architecture, from math, health studies, whatever your background is, we will teach you the project management processes that will go over on top of that. But because we force, that sounds like negative, but it's not, because the students work together in groups, they're able to share all of their prior experiences with each other, and even in the classroom. So some of the discussions that we have really provides a lot of exposure to different backgrounds. Also, the examples that we use in class differ. We have, different people from different backgrounds that come in and share their own examples. We have projects in each of the different courses that will expand each student's exposure to different areas, because there will be different focuses. And then in our applied project management course, it depends on whatever flavor of projects the faculty member thinks up and gets creative with for that term. So All the students are going to be exposed to different industries, different backgrounds. And also what we have is we have in our program, we have 2 full-time professors, but the rest of the professors are from industry. And when we look to staff the faculty team, we actually really look to pull in people with different backgrounds. So we've got IT people, we've got people who are working on the light rail transit, we've got people from policing. So we make sure that we offer a broad range of faculty members. So when they come into the class and they talk about their experiences and their examples, they can provide that cross-disciplinary aspect as well. Does that answer your question, Giselle?
So Giselle, oh, perfect. There it is. Awesome.
Okay.
Can I add something to that? It's Phil.
Of course.
So also to address Giselle's first part of her question, I guess that does depend on what the student or the group chooses, the topic of their choice in the applied project course specifically. And I guess one example from this semester for myself is in the cost management course, there was an assignment of, the assignment was very straightforward in the sense that to create a cash inflow outflow statement, a little bit of cost estimates for any project, right? So it was up to the student's choice. And to address the multidisciplinary approach, my assignment, because I guess one of my largest hobby is billiards and pool and snooker. So I chose to do a cost estimate for made up Canadian Snooker Open, and including renting the venue, hiring all the referees, any on the ground workers, etc. So, and I mean, I think my professor really liked it, and I got a great mark. And secondly, in terms of diverse multidisciplinary background, I'll just draw an example from my own team right now. We are in a group of 5, and not every a lot of our team members bring actually a wealth of experience, a professional experience. One of our team members, she worked in communications for the past 20 years. And another team member, Gonzalo, he's an international student from Peru, but he has over 20 years of experience working in the Peruvian telecommunications industry. Yep. And our another team member, Trudy, she is currently working in finance. So I guess combined with my more so arts and worldly background, we actually have a lot of different opinions and ideas within our team.
Okay, that's absolutely beautiful. The peer-to-peer learning, it just is supercharged in programs like this. So I saw a question about when the students are available. I see it's answered in the chat, but I'll just raise it here for the group. The first time these students are available to work at your organization is beginning in May 2021, so very beginning of May. But then we're offering these students every single semester in perpetuity. So every semester you can hire a project management student. So summer, so from May to end of August, or if your needs are in the fall, from September to end of December, or if your needs are in the winter time, then from January to the end of April. So once we start, you can always call us and we'll let you know the next time, and it'll be no more than usually a couple months, depending on when you give us a shout, because it'd be either in the current round, we get you somebody very, very soon, or we'll wait till the next go round. So they should be available. Angela, I have a question, and it was part of your presentation, and it's reflecting on, and I don't know the answer, and I'm reflecting on a little bit of my experiences with other programs that teach specific software tools. So in our business intelligence systems infrastructure, another grad cert just like this, they teach Power BI, which is one of many tools that you could use. Also in our computer programmer program, they teach a variety of different software languages. Now, years ago, I went to see our students on the job just to see how things were doing. So we talk with the employer, we speak with the students. And there were 2 students there. And I said, so how's it going? And the student said, it's not going very well because they code with Ruby on Rails here, and they didn't teach me Ruby on Rails in the classroom. And so we spent a few moments explaining to the student that this is an extension of the classroom, and your employers wants their employees to be successful and will support you there. And one thing I know from working with that program for years is once you learn one software language, it's easier to adapt and learn something new rather than a guy like me who would just be starting from scratch. So then I called the next student in, and the next student, after this one departed, and the next student said, I said, how's it going? And the student said, it's going fantastic. And I said, well, why is it going fantastic? And the student said, they're teaching me Ruby on Rails here. So from that response, I sort of solidified my opinion that within that particular cluster, they learn a series of languages. Within business intelligence, they learn Power BI. So now, how would MS Project then relate to other project management software tools? Is it one of those where you get to sort of understand how the whole thing works, and then with a little diligence, with a little time, and with a little coaching, within weeks or days instead of months and years, they can be brought up to speed? Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. That's a great question, David. So MS Project is the tool that we do teach. And one of the things, we have a program advisory committee that governs, the tool selection and the things that we teach in the program. And so we've talked about this a lot over the past couple of years. When is it time for us to move on and teach another one? But the consensus is still that MS Project is still the most common tool. What it allows us to do is the skills that the students will have that are portable to whatever other tool is still the ability to take the concepts, the higher level objectives of a project. And so we teach them how to break that down into logical, manageable components, break those down then into the activities that you would put into your MS Project tool, assigning dates when things need to be done. How do you estimate how long a task is going to take? What are the dependencies? What needs to be done first before you can do something else? How do you identify your milestones? All of those skills are taught and learned by the students, regardless of what tool is being used, right? So we happen to teach that using MS Project, but the actual process of planning out your project is a portable skill into any tool. A lot of tools that are used are the apps that you can share, the collaborative apps that are very, very intuitive, but still take you still have to break down the tasks. You have to figure out what needs to be done. You have to figure out what the dependencies are. And so that is a very portable. Some of the larger portfolio management tools, we haven't taught in the classroom, but we have had some of our students in field placements, when we did field placements, go out to employers and have been able to pick up those skills quite readily and help manage the projects using those. So I still feel very confident in saying that you will be able to use our students to schedule out and manage projects regardless of the tool that you use. They still have a lot of portable skills. Does that help?
Yeah, that's sort of what I was guessing. I just didn't know. So thank you for the clarity on that one. Angela, one of the things that really excited me about your presentation was the applied project management course and all the great work that you can continue to do. Again, when I was a student at Algonquin, we did similar things. We raised money for good causes. We put our skills to the test to actually do that, the learning by doing, the Algonquin sort of way. Do you have any projects right now that you're looking forward to do this year? Something exciting to share?
That's coming up. We have a couple. We have one so we always have a flavor of artificial intelligence tool projects that we have in the kitty. And our faculty member has been working with our computer engineering technology students this term to create a platform. So a couple years back, we presented at the Project Management Institute, their very first academic showcase and networking event, a project prediction model. So we used machine learning to build a prototype that would enable the project manager to enter a whole bunch of indicators, early indicators and measures on their projects, and the machine language program would predict the project's chance of success. Like it would say, this project has an 81% chance of success. This project has a 22% chance of success. And so so we had that prototype a few years back. Now we're expanding that to be actually to enable us to load in the documents itself and to have this this corpus of information available to the tool to be able to mine and then predict a project success. So we're doing a lot of proof of concept. So that's one of the projects that we'll be working on in the winter. One of the other projects that I believe is in the pipeline is to have a set of students actually study and work with Indigenous people to be able to understand how we can expand our practices on projects that involve Indigenous communities, and how would we be able to work with them and change up the processes, the project management processes, to incorporate that feedback and to incorporate that stakeholder engagement. And so what would need to change to make our project management processes Indigenous people friendly, right? And to be able to raise up our ability to deliver projects. So those are a couple of the projects that we have on the go. And I think that we may also have a couple of employers that we're in the process of talking to in terms of getting some kind of a project set up to support them with our applied project students. Does that help?
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm seeing a remark in here from Amanda. Our team is very busy, so it's a challenge to find the time to give the co-op student the support and training they need. So Amanda, thank you for thinking of that. Our co-op students, we encourage our employers to think of them just like they would any new entry-level employee to their organization. So that's the level that they would need. But then layering on top of that, you still have us around. So if there is something that is you have a question about, you need guidance, we do this all day, every day. We can maybe help short circuit some of those issues and be able to help them hit the ground running a little bit quicker. Now, might I suggest a way forward with this one, if you want to have that conversation, would be if Bobby could get in touch with you just to understand sort of your expectations and your organization's approach. And then Bobby can be able to help with sort of some of the best practices we've learned over the years. I know Jody's team, I'm sure he wouldn't mind chatting with you as well. Canaxis has a great onboarding and support process. So we'd like to add a little bit of help there. And I didn't mention this in my earlier remarks, and I always do, is that when you choose to engage with Algonquin College, there's never any pressure to hire. That's not the way we do business. What we want is the right fit with our students, with our employers, with our partners within industry, because that's what grows the mutually beneficial relationship that's been a hallmark of our college for over 50 years. So with that, what I'd like to do is welcome our Senior Vice President Academic, Chris Jensen. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for being here. Chris is the lead of all of our academic areas, so teaching to work integrated learning. And now he's made some time in his schedule to be here today to offer some closing remarks for this session. And Chris, we value your time and thank you for being here. So over to you.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a lovely crowd. Yeah, I took a few minutes and was scanning through the participants list. It looks like a really nice crowd. Thank you all for being here today. Thanks to our industry partners in particular, but certainly the Algonquin side as well. I see a couple of our incredible faculty. Always a pleasure to have David as a part of this. Student guests, thanks for sharing all of your stories. Co-op is a very critical part of our educational process. Adding co-op to the project management program has been anticipated for quite some time, and we're delighted to have it running and to be able to offer our students up as co-ops for your consideration. Cooperative education really is a true partnership between the college, the students, and the employer. It engages the community. It provides our students with amazing experience in industry, particularly the one that's rapidly changing. But it's also a great opportunity for the employers to find new talent, to find fresh, excited new talent. Key opportunities for students to gain that experience, such that when they finish their formal education at Algonquin, they are truly more than ready to step into the jobs that you will need them to do as employers. An incredible pipeline. And the mandate of the college is really twofold. The college mission, near and dear to all of our hearts, is to transform hopes and dreams into lifelong success. So our mandate for students is to ensure that we are preparing them for the jobs that exist today and the jobs that are going to exist 5 years from now. And certainly the cooperative education experience is a significant part of that. But the other flip side to our mandate is we are also supposed to be providing the highly skilled workforce that our economy needs to thrive. And so we need to ensure that we are working with employers to be providing the talent that they need. And so very often the co-op experience is another critical part of the feedback loop for us to ensure that we're offering the right programming, so that when students return from their co-op, it's generally quite difficult to get them to stop talking about the wonderful experience they had on co-op. We learn so much from them when they returned, as well as do their peers in their classes. So really, through these co-op partnerships, we can work together to equip the graduates with the skills, experiences, and knowledge that they need to achieve lifelong success. And while I would have loved to have been able to have been here for the entire presentation and conversation today, I really hope that we have provided you with enough information for you to consider posting a job with the co-op team and looking to hire an Algonquin co-op from the project management program as early as May of 2021. Again, I'm delighted to be here today. I am a firm believer in the co-op experience and working with employers to collaboratively meet the needs of the employers and the student. So with that, I'll say thank you. Thank you for your continued support.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate the words, the ongoing support, and your time for being here today. So group, that's probably a good place to start wrapping up this morning. Just a couple last things I'd like to mention. One, Leanne will be putting a survey, oh, there it is already, in the chat box. It will be part of the follow-up email we send. And of course, we evaluate every one of our sessions, not just employer sessions, to understand how our employers and students are receiving our activities. So there's a net promoter score on there, and then an opportunity for you to tell us where we can improve moving forward. And we've been using that over the last several weeks and months to improve these sessions as we go on. So we look at, we read, and we debrief over everything that you put in there. So thank you so much. Number two would be Bobby, I know you put it in there already, but if you could put your email address in the chat just one more time. I know we had some people join a little bit later on, and that's A-OK. And if those of you who did join a little bit later on, we're happy to hang out on the phone call and ask any questions that may have been addressed in the presentation, but just schedules are the way they are these days. You just couldn't be here for the beginning, but we're happy to stick around to do that. And then I guess the last thing before I thank everybody is just to check in one more time with Leanne. Have any questions developed over the last several minutes that we should raise?
No, but I just want to say that we will be sending a follow-up email with a presentation, and someone actually did request the slides. So I'll send the slides and I'll send the recording, and then any further information, Bobby's contact information and a list of our programs and the courses that project management students take.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Angela's got the program related, her email in there for program related questions. That's just fantastic. So With that, I'd like to thank, of course, our employers for being on the line today, for making some time to learn about co-op, learn a little bit more about Algonquin College, and of course, our fantastic project management program that we're adding to the co-op ranks, and we're really proud to do so. Phil, thank you so much, student in the project management program. Thank you for being here. Your remarks are fantastic, and it is a very tough job to speak in front of about 20 employers, your program coordinator, your co-op team, and then guess what? The senior vice president is here as well. So we appreciate you doing that. It takes a lot of courage to do so. Jody from Canaxis, we appreciate you helping with this and our ongoing relationship with your company before, your current employer now, and we look forward to doing that. And then to the rest of the Algonquin family, Leanne, Bobby, Angela, Shannon, thanks from ITF for helping us out here, and Chris. You know, we're all one big team here at the college, and I know our employers see that and feel it. So thank you. It's part of what makes us a big success. With that, have a good day, everybody, and I wish you a great week and weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.